3, triplet, triplet, like a waltz. Boom, boo, doom, ba, ba, doom, ba, doom, ba, as opposed to a 3/4. Hey there, fabulous dancer, and welcome back to my channel. This video is part of a series that is the top 10 belly dance moves that every belly dancer must know. So if you are ready to know the latest and greatest movements for belly dance, then you will definitely want to join me here. My name is Tahira, and I'm here to teach you the beautiful art of belly dance. As always, if you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you hit like and subscribe to my channel. That way I can send you fantastic new belly dance content every single week. Now let's dive in. There are many shimmies in the belly dancer's vocabulary, and the one I'm going to show you in this video today is one of my absolute favorites. I am talking about the triplet shimmy, sometimes incorrectly referred to as the 3/4 shimmy. And I'll give you a little bit of insight into that. But we are going to work on this shimmy. It is a beautiful shimmy for traveling. And once you get the hang of it, it's really fairly nice and loose, and it doesn't take quite as much effort as some other shimmies in the belly dance vocabulary. So let's go ahead and dive in. The triplet shimmy, as we are going to do it today, because of course there's a bunch of variations on this as well. We're going to do the one that I consider the baseline, the most quintessential, the one to learn first when it comes to triplet shimmy. And this is the triplet shimmy on the up using a weight shift. Yeah, so we are going to be stepping onto one foot using the skeleton, right? Using the knee. We're going to think about lifting up, releasing, and lifting back up, right? That's how we're going to create 2 bumps on one side with the weight on the right. When we go to the other side, it's going to be the same thing. There's going to be a plie to take you through to the other side. You're going to prep down with the left hip so that you can go up, down, up. So you'll notice when I say up, my hip is at basically level. So I'm not coming up. So resist the temptation to lift the heel and bring your hip up high. It's really coming from down to neutral, down, neutral, right? And as you shift through, knees are going to bend. You're going from down, so now your right side is slightly lower than the left, neutral, down, neutral. And I'm really not going to add any extra glute squeezes or anything on it because this is going to be shimmy speed, so it's going to end up being pretty speedy, right? So once again, if we speed it up just a tiny bit, we're going up, down, up, shift, up, shift, up, down, shift, up, down, up. A couple of things to make note of. It's super important to keep your weight on the same leg for this variation. Weight is on the left for 2. Weight is on the right for 2. If you try to switch with every bump, you're going to end up switching your weight a lot, and it's going to be way too fast to do that when we get to shimmy speed. So make sure you're on the right for 2, then on the left for 2, then on the right for 2, then on the left for 2. The other thing I'm going to note is why this is a triplet shimmy and not a 3/4 shimmy. I was a musician long before I was a dancer, so this kind of thing drives me mildly bonkers. So it's my personal mission to educate everyone on how we talk about counts and tempos and timing, right? So this is a triplet shimmy because it's going to be 3 even accents, right? So when we get this up to speed, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, triplet, triplet, like a waltz. Boom, boo, doom, ba, ba, doom, ba, doom, ba, as opposed to a 3/4. And there is also a 3/4 shimmy, and I typically do it slowly, which is 3 accents and then a pause. So you're doing 3/4 of the possible accents. You're doing 3 out of 4, which would look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, or maybe 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 is like a pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. When we do this shimmy nice and slow, 1, 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Quick pop quiz. Triplet or 3/4? It's a 3/4. 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, 3, pause. 1, 2, 3, pause. When I take this particular shimmy, this triplet shimmy up to speed, there's no pause. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, triplet, 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 triplet. So I would invite you to try as best you can to remove any pauses. This is something I see, especially in people who've learned it with the pause. And then when you go to speed it up, let me show you what happens. You go da-da-da, 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 da-da-da. And there's this weird hiccup in your giddy up, right? And the shimmy gets a little bit frantic, right? A little hiccupy. So I'm going to invite you to Slow it down, smooth it out, spread it out, and take all the time that you can. Yeah? End of soapbox. So going back to the triplet shimmy. Up, down, up, up, down, up. There's no pause. Triplet. Right side, left side, right side, left side, right side. Now, you don't have to stand with your feet this far apart. I'm doing this so you can really see my weight shift. It might be a little bit easier to bring the feet in a little bit so you don't have to shift your weight quite as much. Because when you start going really fast, the less you get sort of that side to side movement, the easier it'll be. But I want you to see my weight's here, now my weight's here. Now it's on the right, and now it's on the left. Knees are doing 90% of the job, right? They're really bending and straightening, never to locked, right? Never to locked. And you can see from the side, as I'm bending the knees, they stay back behind the toes as well. You don't want to bend way out here in front of the toes because that puts undue strain on your knees. It makes it a little hard to balance too. So you want to think about keeping your weight a little bit back towards your heels, keeping the knees behind the toes, keeping your weight on one side and the other. On one side, little faster. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, left and left, right and right, left and left, right and right. Don't forget to breathe. Now, because this shimmy shifts your weight side to side, it's perfect for traveling. So I want you to just imagine lifting your unweighted foot up off the ground 1 micrometer. Yeah, a tiny little bit, because then you can travel with this shimmy. My feet stay pretty close to the floor when I do it, but it's very easy to move your feet because your weight is already naturally shifting, unlike some other shimmies like the Egyptian shimmy or the hip shimmy where your weight stays basically centered, right? So feel free to play with traveling with this shimmy because it really lends itself to that. Make sure the hips continue to go up. Imagine both bumps being as even as possible, that first and second, yeah, first and second, as even as possible as you do it. Shall we bump it up a notch? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, triplet, 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 left, right. If it falls apart, if at any point in time you kind of fall off the move, remember your baseline is this: left, right, big hit, step on it, weights on the left, weights on the right, weights on the left, weights on the right, and then you get an extra jiggle, right? Up, down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up. Let's go for 4 more. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Yes, nicely done. So now we're going to go ahead and drill it with music. As we do it with music, we'll take it half time, we'll take it full time, so slower and faster, and then we'll play with adding some arms, adding some travel, have a good time with it. Let's go. All right, take a deep breath up. We're going to go ahead and start on your right side. So 5, 6, nice and slow. Triplet, 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 triplet. Right and right, left and left. Switching weight, nice and controlled. Make sure there's no pause in it, even as we go slow, so you're ready when you go fast. You don't inadvertently put a pause in. Yeah, just a few more nice and slow so you can get that tempo. Triplet, triplet, left, right and right, left and left. All right, let's speed it up. Here we go. Up and up, up and up, up and up, up and up. Do you want to try to walk it forward? Tiny steps. And take it back. Try taking it around yourself in a circle. And then maybe the other way. I'm going to turn and face the mirror. Let's make our downbeat on the right. Slow it down. Triplet, or that you were on the right. Let's go left. Left for you. So we'll go left and left, just so the left gets the chance to lead. Left and left, right and right, left and left, right and right. Nice and slow. All right, let's take it up to speed. Here we go. When you take it up to speed, it's important to let everything be loose and relaxed. Jiggly might be the technical term, right? You want to allow this movement of the knees to translate up the body and to create the wiggle in the hips. It's very skeletal. I'm not doing a lot of contracting of muscles, squeezing of glutes. You're allowing the fact that the knee bone's connected to the thigh bone's connected to the hip bone, right? To allow the knee to power the hips. Shall we walk it forward? Here we go. Let's walk it back. Around yourself to the left. Looking good. Around the other way. Feel free at any point in time, if you want, you can slow it down. Here we go, I'll slow it down here. Triplet, 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 triplet. Good, I'm gonna speed it back up, here we go. Have fun with it, make it your own. Almost there. And strike your pose. How did that go, fabulous dancer? I love this triplet shimmy. It is so much fun, but let me tell you, this is one that can take months and even years to get into the body. So if you didn't get it this time, please do not be frustrated, right? This is one of those that when I first started learning it, it made no sense in my body. And I see this with my students all the time too. It's just awkward and it feels really strange. And then magically one day, after lots of practice, not magically after sleeping, and magically after diligently practicing it mindfully, little bits of focused practice, it clicks. It's one of those that just one day clicks. And so if it hasn't clicked just yet, put this, video back on again tomorrow or the next day and try it again. When you work it slowly, and then allow yourself maybe even to work it with a metronome or with no music at all, so you can slowly ramp it up. Sometimes the difference between half time and full time is just too big, right? And it's better to incrementally, slowly work it up. So put on a metronome, figure out at what tempo you're able to do it, and then you have a very concrete way of measuring your progress as your tempo gets faster. So feel free, if you want to post in the chat, put on that metronome, time your triplet shimmy. Is it, 80 beats per minute? Is it 90 beats per minute? Post it in the chat so that I can help you be accountable. And then you can slowly ramp it up and report back how it's going. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining me here, and I look forward to sharing the dance floor with you again very soon.